If you've clicked on this video, you probably know that Google are changing the way that Google Photos works. Up until now, you've been able to upload in high quality, which is Google's compressed format. It's not very compressed and it was a fantastic deal. And you've been able to upload in that quality preset an unlimited amount of images for an unlimited amount of time. However, that's gone. It's no longer going to work like that. It's going to start eating into your Google account storage space, which is a real nuisance. You only get 15 gigabytes of it by default, and what with 4K videos and file sizes for images getting larger and larger, that's going to really dig into that storage space, and at some point you're just going to have filled up your account. So that's where this phone comes in. This is a Google Pixel 1. I'm sure loads of us have these lying around in our drawers, and the amazing thing with this phone is that it can upload in original, so uncompressed quality. It can upload an unlimited amount of videos and photos for an unlimited time. Now, these phones are end of line. They're no longer supported. They don't get security updates. They don't get software updates. There's a good third-party sort of aftermarket scene for them, but that's a different topic for a different day. However, they can still run Google Photos and they can still upload images. So I've found a really useful way of using this device to upload images from DSLRs, my 5D Mark III, for example, my A7S here. They obviously take very high resolution images and I want to be able to use that resolution. I can also use this to upload 4K videos from my Pixel 4 XL to my Google account without eating into the storage capacity. So that's what I'm going to show you. So at the heart of this system is an application called Syncthing, as you can see here. Now what Syncthing is, you can think of it kind of like this Google Drive backup utility, only not horrendous. This is a dreadful application. I honestly don't know what they're thinking with that. So it runs in your menu bar, it's always on in the background, and the way that it works is you allocate certain folders to it. That you want to constantly scan and refresh. So you can install the utility on your computer and you can install it on your phone. So the way I have it set up is that in my Finder, I have these two folders here. Obviously I'm on a Mac, but it is more or less the same process on Windows. I have an identical folder on my phone that's also called Pixel RAW, so I take RAW files on all of my phones. When I take the shot on the phone, it automatically syncs to Syncthing and then to my computer, so you can see a shot here from last night, I suppose. Incredibly high quality image there. So that syncs to this Pixel RAW folder, and from there I can import it into Lightroom. Do the processing, and then it exports to the sync folder. Now, all the images in the sync folder are then synced across again, which I'll show you in here. They then sync across to my original Pixel, as you can see here. So there's lots and lots of syncing. I'll do a more detailed breakdown on the actual phone because I think it's going to be easier to explain there. So here we are on my Google Pixel 4 XL. The reason I'm showing you on here and not on the original Pixel is because it runs too old a version of Android to have a screen recorder built in. So I'm going to show you on here. The process is more or less the same thing. So you can see up here I have the Syncthing application set up. It is always running in the background. It uses absolutely no power, so I'm never worried about it draining my battery. And on here you can see that I have a camera folder here which syncs all of the images to the Pixel straight away. Now, the reason I do that is because of the 4K videos. So Google Photos is smart enough to know when an image has already been uploaded, and if it detects a higher quality version of the same image and or video, it will overwrite it. So I always have the images backing up from my phone anyway. So if I go in here, for example, you can see that all of these images are set to back up at any rate. So they're always backing up anyway. But the images at the same time sync to my original Google Pixel, and that has the advantage that I can upload immediately from the Pixel 4 XL, but once I give it a couple of minutes, the higher quality version uploads from the original Google Pixel, and I then have a 4K version available or an uncompressed one. The same goes for the RAW files. So there's another folder that's set up here. So if I take a RAW file on this phone, for example, so you can see the one we were looking at on the computer before, that then jumps into Syncthing. And that image, as you can see in here, is then passed off to Nalem. That's the name of my desktop computer, and that ends up in that Pixel RAW file. So the only thing that's missing on here is the folder for the sync Obviously, I don't have that on the Pixel 4 XL because I don't use this device to upload from. So on the other device, you would see a third or fourth folder here rather, and that folder contains all of the information that has been synced from the desktop. So all the edited photos end up in there, and as you can see on some of these here, so if I go on here, this is set up to backup and sync. And the sync folder on the original Pixel does exactly the same thing. So it's set up to backup and sync. And that means that it uploads all of the edited images in the original quality, so there's no compression on there whatsoever. I want to show you what my export process looks like, just so you can get an idea of really how quick this is. So if I jump over into Lightroom, just as a sample image, we'll use this here. So I hit export on here. I'll just export it with the previous files. I already have one that has the same name, but that doesn't matter, so we'll just overwrite that. So that exports the image. If I dive into my Finder here, you can see if I go into Pictures and into Sync, this image has appeared there. It's appeared most recently, obviously. Jumping over to Google Chrome then, if I open this up and go to Google Photos, you can see here it's just my normal gallery view. Now, in an ideal world, Google Photos will read the metadata of that image and it will insert it. So you can see it has in fact inserted it already alongside the other images from that day. If you're uploading a large amount of images and you're going back, a few years or what have you, if you go into the recently added up here, you can see them in order. So here is and that's in order of added, I should say. You can see that the image is here. Furthermore, if I jump into info, you can see here that the file is at 22.1 megapixels, so it's using all of the detail that the sensor has to offer. It's not limited in its capacity or size rather, so full 6.7 megabytes, which is absolutely ideal. All of the metadata carries across, so you can see what I shot the image with, and it says uploaded from an Android device. Obviously it was, and you don't lose any quality. And as I say, it works in exactly the same way for videos. Just to give you an example, if I go onto this video here, you can see that it is uploaded at 8.3 megapixels and 3840 by 2160, so that is obviously 4K, and it's not eating into my device storage or my Google account storage at all. So 318.5 megabytes that I've saved myself there. At some point, I assume Google are going to patch this out. I don't think this will work forever because, I mean, if you do this, you can be uploading literally hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes a day. But until it's patched out, it's a really good way to make use of an old device that might just be sat in a drawer. My one is on charge 24/7 on a really low output charger, so it doesn't damage the battery too much, and it works brilliantly. Honestly, I have absolutely no complaints. It only takes about 30 seconds for the images to sync, and all videos, I suppose. So yeah, that is a brilliant use of an old device, and I hope that it helps some of you. If you want to see any more of me, there's various social medias listed below. Instagram is always the best one to keep up with what I'm doing. That's the one I use most. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.